What's shaking, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Cure, and we're back to complete the 1985 album The Head on the Door. And the final tune is Sinking, which is a single word title. It is a conjugated version of the verb to sink, which most fundamentally or indeed physically means to move downward, to descend, to submerge, and perhaps to reach the bottom and or not return to the surface. If this was on a previous album, I would think, oh, this is going to be this dark, emotional, brooding, and heavy type of track thematically, though I'm at the very least not concluding or not even necessarily predicting that, given the way this album has been a bit more all over the place emotionally, up and down, quirky, and more pop-oriented. So yeah, I don't quite know what to expect, but the title certainly suggests something which is moving downward, which of course has a lot of thematic potential. Let's just see what it is in practice, or at least what I can pick up on a first listen. This is The Cure, the track is Sinking, and it's from the 1985 album The Head on the Door.
Slowing down as the years go by. I am sinking. So I trick myself like everybody else. Secrets I hide twist me inside, make me recall
awesome. That was a fantastic song and a really strong end to the album. So, okay, I'll try to do lyrically first because I know otherwise I'm going to forget a couple details I was thinking. First of all, it does sound pained. I was thinking, like, by the end, I wanted to give Robert a hug. Like, it's okay, man. Like, it really is like everyone else. And we all are scared and crouching in fear at times. And, you're not alone in that regard. And in fact, it feels like if this phrase and song type thematically had been on pornography or faith, it probably would have been more dejected, more isolated, more like nihilistic. It feels like here he is saying that he doesn't know if he's going to feel anymore. Was that right? And that he's trying to trick himself. But I feel like in a way he's responding to that pain or that isolation, and he's acknowledging that he's not unique. He's like putting himself among other people by saying, like, we all trick ourselves as we get older. We all are not sure what's going to happen, or we're worried about our vulnerabilities and our weaknesses, and maybe the way that we grow colder or more callous. So again, I feel like it would have been more defeatist if it was on an earlier album, and here at the very least he's associating himself with other people, and he's trying to convince his mind, even if he's aware that it is self-deception. It's like he's trying to maybe convince himself that there's still something there. There's still, the humanity or the emotion that was there before, even if he's again saying he doesn't know if he's ever going to be able to remember that or get back to that. So yeah, I feel like it's a nuanced song lyrically as I took it, and again, maybe I'm missing a key detail, maybe I misheard a line, but it felt pained. And his vocals, my God, his vocals, as the song went along, it's like you felt the sinking, but again, like a desire not to just let yourself drown and be submerged, but like a lament or a worry, a sense of being scared, which means that you do still care. So it's like his vocals really conveyed that vulnerability, and he felt more and more strained and worried as the song went along vocally. And I think that was a really effective technique. There's a couple moments where it's like, it's outside the lines, it's a bit like of an eccentric delivery, but damn if I don't think it worked within the emotional feeling of the tune, whether or not I'm reading the lines right. Sonically, I enjoyed it. A long, elaborate intro, which is not the first time we've had that in a Cure tune. I enjoyed those keyboard chords, both the organ, electric chords, which they had a really nice progression, but also that natural keyboard melodic flourish, which was a nice balance between the two. Definitely that pulsing bass, I was hearing it for the majority of the duration of the track. So all the layers, all the sonic pieces, they really came together well. So yeah, that hit me very strongly. Definitely an instant favorite. A very masterful close to an excellent album, and one with a lot of variety. Again, slightly heavier tunes like here, lighter and quirky tunes, his vocals doing some different things along the way. So yeah, it's like an album that I think is hitting some really catchy and memorable songs in a poppy sense, but also still being quite creative and experimental and unique. So yeah, top song for a top album. Once again, thank you to Phil. I know there were a couple people who said you really should hear some of the B-sides from this album. Generally, the idea for the last couple albums has been, let's go through the proper albums, and then we can go back and do more of the bonus tracks or demos and so on. Which the very early phase of this deep dive, I did go through some demos and non-album tunes. I put the question to you folks here. If you have a really strong opinion about some of the B-sides, because in each of these folders, shout out to Phil, there's the proper album and then there's extra stuff in a second folder. So again, I'm still maybe thinking it would make sense to move on to the next album, but if there's a strong clamor among several folks that there's at least a couple of these bonus tunes from this era that are indispensable before we move on, I'm open to hearing what you have to say, and we'll make a decision collectively. In any case, let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.